just to add a couple of things. So number one, what the biggest disadvantage from my point of view is that tool calling is probabilistic when you're using MCP. That means that the model is deciding what tool to call and when to call that tool and how to pass the parameters. And that is hard to, it's very hard for us to ensure that that will happen reliably. This is completely different from an API where your application is always going to call the API the way you programmed it. An MCP, that's not the way it works. A model makes that decision. That is a big, big downside of MCP, and something that is going to get better as LLMs get better at not hallucinating. One of the big differences between MCPs and APIs is that APIs were created for developers. We developers read APIs. We developers understand how to use those APIs. We developers hard code the calls that we want to make to those APIs. MCP was not created for developers, was created for models. Okay, so the way we write the interface of an MCP server is completely different to the way we write the interface of an API. Completely different. A second thing, I'm going to shut up, MCPs have persistence. We can have context. We can have memory and long-lived sessions, which is usually not the way we use APIs. You can do that with an API, not the way they were designed for. Nobody does that. But MCPs, they do. So that means that we can keep context between different calls to an MCP, okay? Not to an API.